welcome back to KingWoes Court, episode 23, Inbound. Woo! How are you, my good friend Zoe Kavanagh?
I'm good. Just being busy with loads of different stuff. But I mean, keeping busy is the best way. What's that? Idle hands is the
Nice.
devil's
Something.
playground or something.
Something like that, yeah. I'm sure someone will tell us what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying to you, it's been ages since I've seen you. And how you keeping? You know.
Yeah, I know. I guess like it was kind of quiet for a while because I've been just doing loads of different things, like I was trying to get like a movie going. It's supposed to happen last year, and then COVID happens, and that film gets shelved. And it was supposed to be filmed in the States and didn't happen. And I was like, okay, crap. But anyway, so I ended up getting back into music in the time being, and it's just found a reason to write an album. Being political, and I'm sure when this entire album comes out, I'll probably get arrested anyway and locked up in a cell forever. So,
well, that'll give you another excuse to write more music then.
Exactly.
So, I've known you a long time actually now at this stage, from the Vault days, isn't it?
Wow. Oh yeah, you know me over 10 years, man. The Vaults, that was in 2011 or 2010, I think. We were in there. Yeah, I was filming all the bands there that I could. I filmed their gigs, I'd filmed their rehearsal thing. Anyone that wanted to work with me, I would take it, and it was just fun because one of the bonuses of being involved was getting to network with all the other musicians, and that was a great moment. I think with Voxillary last like a year there, and then we went through some member changes, and I guess it got financially rough that we holding in for getting new members. So I was like, okay, it's at a standstill right now because I don't know, there's a drummer left or something. I was like, oh crap, we need to get someone new. Yeah, and so it became a sinkhole of finances after about a year and a half being there or something. I was like, okay, I need to go back and rethink the plan here. So that's kind of what was going on there. But yeah, it was great. I made a good few contacts there, and I guess Voxillary, I guess Two Tails are some of the few surviving bands from 2011, I guess.
Yeah, I reckon so, yeah. There's very few of us left, eh?
Yeah, well, as long as I'm alive, I'll be making music. When I'm dead, I don't know, maybe when I'm a zombie, I can make music
You
too.
probably have plans for when you're a zombie, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's no change in my style shambling around the place, you know what I mean? So
but that's half the charm, isn't it, really, when you think about
it? Yeah, totally.
So, Zoe, tell me all about your interests in music first, because we are going to go into your film stuff as well. But give me an idea, like what kind of music you into? What motivates you to play, to write, all that kind of stuff? Tell me about Zoe.
But it's interesting because if we're talking about exactly what the music I make, is like a lot of the bands that I listen to a lot of metal bands, like a lot of black heavy metal, and I listen to a lot of soundtrack music. Like kind of mad into Creative Filth and Fear Factory, and then I'm also mad into like Gary Newman and the Birthday Massacre. Then I love my soundtracks. Yeah, I mean, I've just recently Voxillary itself is an industrial metal band, and it worked out like that because I've always been playing guitar and playing electronics, and I want to experiment and kind of bring in all my other influences into each song that I'm doing now, because the way I'm approaching music now is I wasn't going to release an album, just drop an album and then release like 2 or 3 singles. I figured, all this lockdown, the fact that we can't gig, I was like, instead of just doing that, because I started to take over vocals in this music, and so I started getting vocal lessons at the start of 2020. getting them every week since the start of 2020. And I was like, okay, if I learn how to sing, at least I can always be the singer in this band. At least I can always rely on the content and scheduling. And then when I'm playing gigs, I can get members and get a team for those tours. But yeah, basically, so I was figuring, okay, so instead of just dropping an album, what I'm going to do is, because there's a lot of bands doing it now, you've got Skinned, you've got Aesthetic Reflection. Instead, you're releasing a single from every song. The album's going to be a single.
Yeah.
Every 1 or 2 or 3 months, a single's going to pop out, it'll get a few thousand views. And each one, you might have the one that just strikes gold, but you just keep releasing them. By the time the album comes out, you know, it feels like a best of, you know, but it's also every single song on the album has a music video. And so that kind of builds a thing. So I want to approach it that way. And it's like also the fact that I'm very slow at making music, like, because I'm always want to make it right. I always want to make the song right because I'm always mixing and producing my own music in Logic. So I'm a perfectionist in that regard. You know, sometimes I'll get other musicians to guest on the songs to kind of do certain parts because I want a certain thing to it, you know. So yeah, and so I think releasing them individually like that gives me breathing space to learn how to sing each song individually and make each song as best as it possibly can be, and then just like have a strong album at the end of it. You know, so
absolutely. And you have an album ready to go, have you? Or
yeah, I have like literally 11 or 12 songs. And some of them I started working on 2019, some of them I worked in 2020. And like each different one is in a different status of progress of like, because some of them get shelved when I put a focus up one or the other. So I'm releasing my next single in June, which is actually a cover song, which is it kind of sounds like instrumentally, it sounds like Paradise Lost, True Belief, with a bit of Birthday Massacre, but it's also it's a cover of an 80s pop song, which has but it has the guitars sound like Paradise Lost, and then it has some gothic Birthday Massacre type synth in it. But it's a cover of Tuesday Night's Nightmare from Nightmare on Elm Street. It plays on the Nightmare 4 in the opening credits, and I was like, I had a few problems with the song. I thought the song was really good, but I felt like the only version she ever released didn't have a bridge and a final chorus. It just had verse, chorus, and the end. So I was like, you know, well, you know, they should change that. And so, you know, I'll cover it and I'll change it. And which made it work. That I think my version, like I'm pretty proud of it actually. Like I was never actually going to release it initially, but now that looking through certain distribution platforms that allow you to release covers with the whole mechanical license and not have to worry about being chased down by some Hollywood celebrity who wants to sue you and like destroy you because you covered a song. And there's actually digital services online that can sort that out. I know it's not too expensive. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to release it. It may not be on the album itself, but it'll be a cover song that'll be out there. And then I think quickly after that cover song, I'm releasing the next song, which is going to be controversial. Actually, the next bunch of songs after that are going to be very controversial. One of them is COVID 1984, and which is kind of dancey new metal with a bit of Enya sections and Rammstein moments. And then after that, I think there's a very dark song I wrote, which is about child trafficking called Crime to Humanity, and that's like nearly 6 minutes long. So that'll get a video too. So yeah, no, I'm kind of like I have this like plan, but it's like a part-time plan. And then I think when we can gig again, it's gonna be great. Like I'll have all this material, I'll be able to sing, and I already have like a band like here. Like there's a band in Voxillary right now. There's members, and we work kind of like I'll just communicate when we need the bits on the songs, you know, and when we're going to gig, we're going to be ready to go, you know what I mean? The only thing is we don't actually have a drummer at the moment, but I'm sure I'll sort a drummer out when we're playing gigs. So that'll be that.
And would you have, like, let's say you didn't get a drummer at that stage, would you use electronic drums if you need to be?
No, I mean, the session drummers, I'll hire a session drummer, like, because I mean, I couldn't do that. I've thought about that when I gigged before, and I cannot do it because it feels cheap. Like I want like, this is like, I love the sound of electronics with real drums, and some of the songs here have double bass on it. So, yeah, there's gonna be some heavy tunes on this, and I'm trying to work on a black metal-y, instrumentally wise song. And actually, Nightmare has a mixture between clean vocals and me experimenting with kind of ripping off Nymphetamine with the Cradle of Filthy type of attempt.
Okay, I look forward to hearing that one now.
Yeah. So it's kind of hinting that, like, I mean, I'm going in different places with it, but like, this is kind of say that my experimentation in the music, I could take it anywhere, you know what I mean? So it's when I hear, like, when I released Tearaway, and someone said to me it's not heavy enough, and I thought it was a heavy song but it was because it took like a minute and a half to get kicking, and it was like a lot of Depeche Mode for a bit, and then when it gets kicking, it's really heavy. And I was like, okay, well, you know what, I'll make the next one heavier. And I just decided, this pop song I'll turn into like a Paradise Lost-y thing. And I was like, all right, I'll do all these like different harmonies on the guitars. I'll do in one, then like a lower octave in the other, and then and mix them all together. And it was just like, yeah, oh my god, people hear it when this plays this live. People are going to be like, wow, and so it's fun. And so it's like, I'm really excited because it's weird. Whenever I gig with Voxillary, I was always on keyboards live, but right now, like, I'll be performing on stage, but I am going to practice to see if I can play an instrument while I sing, which is actually not easy to do. So if I can pull it off, I will do it, and I'll do it live. If I can't, then I can't. I have a synth guitar and I have a guitar, so I might switch between the two depending on the song.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's awesome, and it sounds. Isn't it great to have that freedom to express yourself through song, I suppose you could say. Through music,
100%.
Isn't it?
Well, 9 Inch Nails and Gary Newman are a huge inspiration to me. To have like Trent Reznor and Gary Newman, like they're always throwing new stuff, but the fact that they're really just one person, like, who's constantly has their expression, you can always tell their style of music, and you can always when you hear it, it's just like, that's definitely them. But it always has that and to me, it's like, it's inspiring to kind of have a signature sound and be always reliant on yourself, that you can always make it and it'll always exist, so but there's a big gap between the last album I released and this one. It took a long time. I mean, I think I kind of disappeared, I fell off the radar of it because I think it was just financially hard to kind of release the first album, to kind of play gigs and do all that stuff. I just couldn't afford it back then. Now I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do all this, you know what I mean? I don't care anymore.
Just get out and do it and get your name out there. It's the best way to do it.
That's it, like,
what was I gonna say to you there? So Voxillary, where did the name come from?
Korn had an interview, and I think it was one of the guitarists had said, I don't know, it was Head or whoever, but they said if you want a name for your brand, you should create something Google friendly, and it should stand out, So when you type the name to Google, it would you'd find that straight away. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make up a word, and that's gonna be, and you look at Metallica, you look at all these things. So, but then the influences that I had were so I was thinking 80s stuff, so I thought of Ultravox is the 80s pop band, new wave band, and then I like Fear Factory, and I like all that mechanical sci-fi industrial stuff, so I thought Auxiliary, and I was like, okay, what if I mix those two together? And then, like, I mean, if you look for a meaning, there's no meaning behind those
No.
two words being put together. But I mean, putting together, I mean, I suppose it means the vocals that drive the music or something. But like, it doesn't matter. It's just a name that sounds good. That's
Yeah,
all it
I
is.
like it. I think it's a cool little name. You know, it's I know it's you when I hear Voxillary, so put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
What is
Mm.
your favorite Nine Inch Nails album?
My favorite Nine Inch Nails album would probably my favorite Nine Inch Nails album will probably be Fragile.
Same.
And there's so many great songs in that obviously Downward Spiral, the special edition, the 2-disc one, that one's also fantastic. But yeah, Fragile has so many epic tracks. Like, I mean, we're in this together is my God. There's so many fields in his music and so much emotion.
Well, I think he hit his peak with that album in terms of those kind of things, you know.
I agree, but like to an extent. But I have to say, I really like With Teeth, and I liked some of the stuff that followed. But then I did feel when Nine Inch Nails continued after that, it went more indie rock for me, or it went something that I didn't really like. However, Trent Reznor's music in compositions, like a score for Dragon Tattoo, Social Network, and Gone Girl, masterpieces, absolute masterpieces. And How to Destroy Angels, which is a great side project he did with his wife, and Atticus Ross, absolutely incredible. So I mean, like, even if like Nine Inch Nails' future albums were not special, they've such a great catalog anyway. So if they played live, they'd have such a great catalog. So.
Absolutely, I love The Perfect Drug. What a song!
Oh my God, it's amazing. It was for the Lost Highway soundtrack. And what's mad is like it has this great last 2-minute closure that's really sad and melancholic. Without you, everything falls apart. I just wish that was slightly bit longer, and I wish they didn't put it off. I was like, it's so good. Just give us an extra minute or two. But it's so good. And the video looks like something else Tim Burton would direct or something now.
I love it. I mean, like, that's the same when he knows, when he gets the emotions right, he really gets them. Like, you know?
Absolutely, you can really feel like, because like the way he plays his chords is always very broken and melancholic, and it's very simplistic, but it's catchy. But there's always like this, as you said, there's the feels to it, you know. And then when it's angry and aggressive and angsty, you know, it's kicking ass. Head Like a Hole, come on, like, you know.
Even Starfuckers is quite aggressive.
Oh yeah, I mean, Starfuckers is anti-celebrity. It's brilliant, you know. It's all anti-superficiality. I love that he just calls it all out, you know.
Yeah. I should look at him, and he stays true to his word, you know, and that's what I think people respect about him. Always did, like, you know.
Yeah.
So, you're, as you said, you're a filmmaker as well, and you do a lot of music videos. So, what would you say? What was the last, apart from your own band, what was the last band you worked with?
I'm not allowed to say their name. They're too big.
Oh, sorry. Right. Okay. Well, apart from that one.
Apart from that one, I worked with Clan of Zymox. I worked with like on 5 music videos. They were the previous big band I worked with in 2020. I did like She and Lovers in 2020, and I did She and Lovers in 2020, and I had plans to do more videos, you know, but because COVID happened, I got so kind of hopeless about so many things. I was like, why do I even bother? So that was literally the start, the spring of 2020. I was like, I'm going to get this done, I'm going to get that done. And then that happened, and I didn't do anything. So, and then it took like months and months before I started doing music videos for myself. And then I got the opportunity, and now I'm booking bands. I'm looking at lists of bands that released albums in 2021, and I'm just booking bands in 2021. they're all bands you would hear of or know of that have like a popular following, and that's the way to go because that's where the money is. So you usually end up talking to their management, and you end up talking to the label, or you talk to the label about their roster. So I just see what happens, you know what I mean? Sometimes you send a concept to them and see if they approve, and then, you know, you see what happens. So right now the year is trying to get back on track and do more videos, because the last two videos I did, Lovers and She did got 500,000 views, which is fantastic.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, and that's really, yeah, it's great that millions of people have seen some of my work, which is really nice. But the only thing is, being a freelance videographer, is you always have to hunt the work. You know, you have to kind of constantly reach out and hunt the work, and sometimes you know, I'm not as active on that I should, you know. So, but
you still get the projects in, which is absolutely.
Now I just need motivation, and now I have motivation in 2021. I have a drive to push myself further than I did before, so that's kind of positive, you know.
Excellent. Jesus, what was I going to say to you there? I always forget what I'm going to say to people. It's mad, like, you know. That was it. Have you ever been approached to do a soundtrack for a film or anything?
No, I've never actually. Well, actually, I did do a score for someone's short film before. They actually used some instrumentals of Voxillary tracks, and I did some little score pieces for them. It was a short film, or a revenge short film. I can't remember the name of it. But I think the plan is, there's a way to get onto, there's a way to submit your music to get onto soundtracks. It's like a service that you can do on a digital distribution plan. I think this year I'll probably try and get some of the instrumentals of some music I've done and try and submit them and see if people want to use them. So I mean, definitely up for it. But I mean, I have used some of my own music in the movie Demon Hunter, so it has been in a movie. So that's kind of awesome.
Well, that's just segued into what I was going to bring up next. The awesome success of Demon Hunter. Taron Barker, yeah?
Yeah, Taron Barker, Demon Hunter, yeah.
Tell me about, because I know it was mental for you for a few years, and in a good way. You got an awful lot of coverage with that, didn't you?
Yeah, it did very well. It was pirated by millions of people.
Oh, there you know you made it.
Yeah, pretty much. But okay, it's a big long story. Okay, so I self-financed the movie. I shot it in 2014, 2015. I had post-production 2016, and it got in the Irish Horrorthon in 2016. We sent it loads to festivals. I went at the end of 2016. I went to America. I won a bunch of awards at the Fright Night Film Festival in Kentucky. Then at the start of 2017, I went to the Horror Hound Film Festival in March in Louisville, and I won Best Director. And shortly after that, then I signed a distribution deal to get sold in the UK, Ireland, and a few other territories. And then I signed with another sales agent, which was, that one was a big mistake. But anyway, the film got around to multiple territories around the world, and right now I am developing a second film. I'm working on a book, and there's so many adventures the character has, and there is a video game in development for mobile devices right now, so that's kind of exciting.
That's great.
Yeah.
Would the story lend itself to animation?
100%. It's financially. I would love to make a kids Saturday morning cartoon like the Extreme Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, and call it Taron and the Demon Hunters, and have a 20-minute episodes. And it's because where I'm going with it now is a lot more like Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's a lot more comedy, action, horror. And that's where the second movie will have a lot of comedy in it. lot of action, a lot of horror. The second movie is a bit more of a slasher movie as well. And then yeah, the cartoon series, if I'd ever do one, would be more schlocky, more fun. But yeah, I mean, yeah. So I guess it depends on how well the mobile game does, and maybe how well the next movie does, and the book, I suppose.
Yeah.
So
I'm intrigued about the game. When is the game scheduled to release? Do you know?
Well, we've done 2 levels out of 5, and so we've 3 more levels to finish. Then when those levels are done, we have to work on the cutscenes on the game, and we have to get more character models designed. So I would say, I know that my co-director on the game, he wants the game out by October, but I'm thinking, I don't know, I mean, ideally, probably, I don't mind delaying it, a bit further, depending, like, I mean, I was originally thinking it could release like around the same time as the next film, but actually no, maybe not. That might be further down the line because of different situations. So I'm thinking it could be the end of the year. Really, it's hard to say, but hopefully, I mean, I guess we're only 20% through production on the game, right. So there's still a bit more to go. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like Castlevania meets Resident Evil, but it's a platform game.
I like the sound of that. That sounds actually very interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that when it comes out now, I have to say.
Awesome.
You said you're a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are you playing at the minute?
Well, I recently completed Resident Evil Village, and I mostly play Dead by Daylight. I'm really addicted to Dead by Daylight and Friday 13th. But aside from those, I played GTA 5, I guess, and a lot of Resident Evil games, and I don't know. I was playing Goat Simulator there.
Oh God,
it's terrible. Don't bother. Like, no. It was free on PlayStation Plus, yeah. So I was just like, I saw a YouTuber saying, if you want to just act a maggot, try Goat Simulator. Played it for about 10 minutes, then uninstalled it. I was like, nah, it's boring. It's crap.
It is. I got Alien Isolation 2 days ago.
Oh, it's amazing. I have Alien Isolation on PS3 and PS4. It's so scary. It's so scary.
Yeah, I decided to pull the trigger and get it,
Yeah, you're going to have a good time. I'd say the game is about 20 hours long, and that's excluding all the extra content, which has like more story, more missions. So you're probably going to get 30 hours out of that game. It's really, really good. And I honestly think, like, I'm surprised we haven't gotten many other games following that template of not having weapons. Like it would be great to have like a game like a Halloween game or some sort of horror game where it's the same situation where you have to use your wits and stuff to get by this big unstoppable killing machine.
Yeah, I'm finding it. I'm finding it weird to not have a gun, or I'll get used to it.
Well, it's only for half the game. You don't have a gun. Yeah. It'll change. But
myself and yourself are both now involved in a very, very exciting project called Ashari.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit of how you're getting on with your group or groups.
I'm in 2 groups. I'm leading one, which is the industrial metal one. And the other one is an all-girls metal track, which is a bit, to me, instrumentally, it's like a mixture between thrash metal and there's like a section of doom in for like a minute of it, and then it goes back to this like thrash metal vibe. But so with the industrial metal track, it was easier for me to kind of make that one because I got to begin the composition firstly and do it through synths, and then from that we built on top of the synths. So that song is basically done now. There's just getting in the final pieces from the people, like getting in the final vocal pieces and getting in what are the final drum pieces that Damien's happy with, and then I'm gonna do a rough mix just to kind of put it together, and then we're gonna send it off to whoever, I don't know. And then the other one was a bit more, I guess, a bit more tricky for me, because the other one was started off from the ground up from a guitar riff, and so then we have to kind of sit down and discuss the structure of where those riffs are going into the right place, and then figure out then is waiting to hear what the drums sound like on the riff, so I can understand now what the synths are going to be on it. So I started putting some samples in the track. I think I put a 5-second sample from the James Horner score of Aliens at the very start, and there's like little pieces of that score to create because he uses like horns in the orchestrating on the Alien score, and I just take like a chord from the orchestra horn and I put it on top of certain heavy riffs to make it sound bigger. So I was just like, okay, I'll take that sample, put that there, I'll put that there, and it's only like, it's just one chord, so no one's ever even gonna figure out where it came from, and that's why I do all the time. So doing that on top of writing melodies on top of it, but I'm approaching this keyboard wise like a bit influenced by Cradle of Filth and My Dying Bride, and kind of approaching it in a bit more of a gothic way, and that's a lot different from the other song.
Yeah,
I was originally gonna put like I dropped it now, but I had like a choral choir in the chorus, and then I realized, I should remove that. That should be for the singer. But I had this like and I was like, that's kind of like and I was like, that's actually pretty awesome. But I removed it because I just felt it was taken away from it what the singer should be singing. So I just like yanked that out. But it was like something out of an action movie. But it was cool. Yeah,
it's really exciting hearing everybody's projects and seeing how everyone's doing, and I can't wait for it to be done, and I can't wait for people to hear what we're all working on. And it's a great idea. It's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I didn't want to pick up too many projects because I have so many things going on, but I was happy to do 2. I was like, 2 is good enough for me. As long as I put my fingerprint on 2 tracks, I don't care. That's fine with me.
I'm doing 3.
Nice.
I'm leading 1, and then I'm doing. Although it's really 2.5. I'm doing kind of a couple of lines on one of the songs, and then I'm leading 1, and then there's another team leader, the other one. So it's interesting. I don't know about you, but it's interesting dynamic working with people you wouldn't have worked with before, and seeing different people, the way they work, and especially when you're not the team leader, because myself and yourself would be band leaders, so it's all, and like, so that's why I went 2 ways. Was the lead way, because I know that I that's second nature to me, and then the following, being someone else's team lead, to see if that works for me. And I'm just sitting back and I'm just like, I'll do whatever you need me to do when I'm ready, or when you're ready. It's probably like that for you with when you're not the team lead as well. It's just like, just sit back, let someone else do most of the work.
It's mostly been easy for me. Yeah, totally. Well, actually, the industrial metal song was the easiest for me ever, because I got all my work out of the way at the very start, because I built the bones of the song, and then I just sit back and let everyone do their thing. Nice. Now, granted, I guess I because being team leader, I ended up having influence on some directions of what some people were taking certain elements. So, I mean, just because you'd be asked, it's like, does this work with that? I was like, okay, so I guess there was some guidance there on some decisions, but yeah, I mean, it got easier for me. And with the other one, on the opposite end, I'm coming in kind of at the back end on the other song. I'm letting them do all the other pieces, and I'm coming in to complement that now, so.
Exciting times for hopefully our metal scene and our whatever scene. It's the metal scene
Absolutely,
mainly,
man.
yeah, it's
I really hope that this brings all these musicians together and they don't just like forget each other after it's done. I hope that like maybe the metal scene becomes stronger when we can gig again, and maybe every metal band that's connected to this gets respected and gets the gigs that they deserve. And I feel like because the mainstream don't really care for this genre, it's kind of important for as a community for us to push each other and kind of succeed each other. So it's something like this amazing idea of getting everyone to work together on this project. I think is just opening doors for so many people to communicate and network with each other, and it's going to open up opportunities when we can all gig again for people to always be able to gig with each other. And to me, that's going to be really exciting.
And I think also, and myself and Dara have said, there's probably going to be several bands sticking together now after this that'll be created from this, like, which is, again, it was awesome, again, resurrection. We're resurrecting the Irish metal scene, I suppose, because it has been ravaged with COVID, and every musical genre has, but like we're metalheads, and we want to keep it going,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's such a kicker because I just want to play a gig. I just want to play live. I was all set to do it, and I will. And to be honest with you, it worked out for me though, because I feel like by the time we can gig again, I'm gonna have so much new material, and I'm also gonna be able to sing. So it's gonna be fucking class. I cannot wait to fucking get shit going. But let's hope it happens soon. I hope this
You've got so much going on at the moment. I can't wait to see how it all pans out. If you really can't,
Thanks. I'm releasing a new single in June, so that's gonna be fun. I have to shoot a video for that. It's gonna be so that's gonna be cool.
Before we go, I want to just briefly touch on horror. We both love horror, as you know, obviously.
Yeah.
Tell me, would you prefer to be a vampire or a werewolf?
I guess a vampire, because you get to stay good looking.
Yeah, a werewolf all the way, baby. What's your favorite horror movie? Before we go, because I want to bring you onto my horror podcast at some point, so I don't want to delve too much into horror.
My favorite horror movie would be A Nightmare on Elm Street, because the very first one. However, it's a complicated situation. Okay, because the best one in the series is Part 3, Dream Warriors, and it's the best script in the whole series, absolutely. But Part 1 was the scariest one for me. Part 3 is a bit more action. But Part 1 was the scariest one for me, with the whole stretching of the arms as a kid. That was disturbing, but it was also because it was the first moment we saw him. Like when I was a kid, seeing that random sheep in the hallway, or seeing the opening where Freddy's you see some making a glove of knives, and then it turns out, and then and the title comes on. Or when Johnny Depp gets pulled through the bed. I mean, as a kid, those things creep the hell out of me.
They do. Your mind when you're a kid, don't they?
Yeah.
I remember years ago, there was a street party on my road, and I dressed up as Freddy Krueger. Everyone else was like, policemen or whatever, and it wasn't even Halloween, and I dressed up as Freddy Krueger, and I made my own little glove and all. Like, the things he did.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was obsessed, man. I'm still obsessed with horror. My collection is ridiculous. Like, if someone saw how many DVDs and Blu-rays I have, and they're all mostly horror movies, maybe some action or whatever, but I have like thousands.
Wow.
And I think I have all the most important ones. Like, just today I bought one of the Hellraisers on DVD just because I had to add it to the collection, because each franchise needs to have even the bad ones in its collection. In my head, like, it just needs to be there. Like, even have the Leprechaun movies.
Oh God. You have more money than sense, Zoe. You really do.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll put a pin in the horror for now because, as I say, I want to get you onto my other podcast on the slab, and we
Cool.
will have a good old discussion about horror and all that kind of stuff then. But for now, I'm gonna close the court for now, if that's all right with yourself.
It's fine. Yeah, totally.
It's been fantastic catching up with you. And I hope we can kind of see each other in the not too distant future as well.
Absolutely, we will.
Here's hoping. So, Zoe, you're on Voxillary is on all the usual streaming platforms, I presume. Yeah. Okay, we'll put links up for that on the video. And also, is there links for your films or your anything to do with your films or?
I guess if you want to keep up with me regarding that, just type my name to YouTube, and you'll find some stuff on YouTube, like maybe my short reel or music.
I'll get links for you. Don't worry, I'll put links up for you.
Cool.
Zoe, it's been awesome. Thanks for taking the time to come into KingWoes Court.
No problems.
See you soon. We're out of here. Hang on.
Bye.
You never tell me away. You never tell